Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how you can rap live over the internet on a beat you're playing through your computer without dealing with the lag and latency that has plagued so many of our efforts to stream live and give this internet experience to our music. So today we will be discussing how you can set up two free apps, Voicemeeter and OBS, that will give you both the ability to produce video content where you're rapping, but more importantly, to stream live to both Facebook, YouTube, or even Twitch without dealing with the lag and the latency issues that have plagued us all. So let's start this off by taking a quick second to describe what latency issues are. This is basically when your voice and your video are not synced up at the correct alignment due to the fact that they are operating at quote unquote, for the simple terms of it, different frame rates. So the video's going at this level of encoding and the audio's going at this level of encoding. And when the receiving program takes these signals, they mess it up. Now, thankfully, there are ways to control the latency, and that is what we're going to do by separating our sounds, giving us the ability to put little blockers that basically slow things down and have everything hit the video at the same time, allowing for the synchronization that we are looking for. I myself am using both OBS and Voicemeeter to create this video, and as you can see, the voice is synced up to my mouth. But to go one step further with it, I'm going to just do a little scene cut over here. Now you are going to see how I have my music player going. And now you can hear how the beat's playing through. But more importantly, you're going to see how when I go, it's going to sync up proper. Look at them sitting over there, living in deep sin with not a care in the world. Get a little fear every time they walk near. It's kind of queer as I live up the smell, makes my stomach curl. Alright, so the point of that was not really to go ahead and floss on y'all that I can rap. It was more to illustrate how everything is synced up with this here program playing the beat to this video. Now, I've tested this and it effectively does well in the live stream environment as well, just due to the fact that everything is being controlled. So I'm going to explain how this magic happens in a simplified way using the power of Voicemeeter. Sorry if this video is not absolutely eloquent. I will work on my production value over time. This is meant to be the bare bones. Follow along with the basic instructions. We're going to get it going for the peoples out there. And then as time goes on, we'll deep dive into more specific things as I get a better handle of how this all works. Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit now about our first tool in this endeavor called Voicemeeter Banana. I wasted a lot of time at first because I did not download the tool I needed. So what we're going to do is I want you to head on over to the Voicemeeter website. So you're going to come here and you're going to go on it and you're going to click on Banana. Don't be like me and click on Voicemeeter. Well, why do we want Banana? Because this guy is free and it comes with this extra port, and this extra port is like a lifesaver to us and it will give us what we need. I recommend you do the donation. It's cool. They're going to save you a lot of effort. But otherwise, you can just click on your download, install your executable, boom, 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 it runs through. It's very important for that. You'll get it installed. I don't really think I need to walk you through a basic installation process. If ever we want to get to that point, we can set up a Discord. Let me know if you're interested in some kind of a community where we can work on tech issues together and solve new challenges, because this is the beginning for me. There's a whole bunch of stuff I want to set up that will kind of look into how to function with different particular apps and turn this into a bigger tutorial series, like how to use this in conjunction with other people. Anyway, so this is the beginning of an adventure. So get yourself Voicemeeter set up. After you've installed your Voicemeeter Banana, you're also going to go down and install this virtual audio device. Grab it. We're going to use this. It's effectively an XLR cable for your computer that will take the sound from one app and funnel it somewhere else. So this is going to be super important for us to have some control at an app level where sounds go. So once you go ahead, click on that download, run through the installation. Is mad basic. Everything's going to be simple. once this is done, you can head back over to your playback and recording devices. You'll see I have a whole bunch, but what's really important is that now you're going to see that there's a Voicemeeter VIO, and then if you go to recording, you're also going to see a Voicemeeter aux VIO. These guys are kind of like virtual inputs that run through the app. One is for like to receive, it's like the main microphone signal, whereas the other one is the main speaker output. So effectively what we're doing here is Voicemeeter becomes a virtual switchboard, where that first one for the recording, the microphones, it's all flooding, the aux cord here floods into this, whereas the outs are based off of that same thing. So it's running out through the same application. And effectively, I know that wasn't clear, but we're taking the defaults of the system and running everything through this application. What that second cord does that we downloaded is it gives us an extra option in here, which just gives us more control down the line. So effectively what we're going to do for a setup, it's going to be a kind of basic one. And again, if this isn't clear for you, I can redo this video. It's an experiment for me to see how clear it is. But in hardware input one, we're going to jack our physical mic. So this is my physical mic right here. It is running through my sound card, my Focusrite. And what I've done is I clicked on this and I said, I want this mic receiving thing to be my actual microphone. Hardware input means real life object, and boom, you pick it from the list. You'll see that the same microphone actually appears here, and then it appears here, and it might appear more, and it might see different stuff in this list based on your computer setup. This is all mumbo jumbo. Honestly, don't stress. It's just driver crap. Nobody cares. WDM appears to be better for Windows computers, but the truth is you want to test everything you do with sound. Record when you're there to test it with each of these settings and decide which one is best for you. We're going to control latency in this process through OBS. So if there's a bit of latency, that's all right. We're still going to control it. And what's most important is you get the sound you want. In future videos, we'll look at advanced settings and explore this a little bit more. But for now, pick the one that sounds best. Try them all out. That's how we're going to do with this. But make sure you pick the device that is, in fact, your actual microphone. Don't worry about the bottom parts now. I'm going to walk you through real quick the whole rest of these things. Hardware input 2. This, you're going to take cable output VB-audio virtual cable. This is that second cable that we put here. So what's going to happen is other programs are going to receive sound like it's a microphone. And this cable lets you take sound from, let's say, a game or your beats or something else and run it through an isolated cable so that a program like OBS can receive it as a separate track. So when OBS opens up later on, it's going to have your microphone. So I'm going to just drag this over. You're going to see over here, I've got my microphone in OBS. That's what's talking here. You can see it's capturing. But I've also got my apps one over here. That is the second channel. When I'm playing my beats through Groove Music, I've configured that to send the beat through hardware input 2. In OBS, it receives that beat as an isolated source, allowing us to put latencies on each of these individual channels, which is kind of what we want, because we want to be able to control both the volume and the latency on both the beat and the microphone ports. So we set this program up to receive the beat and receive the microphone, and then funnel that sound to the next program where we can sync it all up proper. That's effectively what we are doing here. Before we get there, though, I do need to explain the rest of this application for you. To date, I have not used hardware input 3, but if I had additional cables or additional things to put in, maybe a second microphone, I could plug that in there and it would give me an additional microphone. Over here, we have some outputs. This side over here is my computer speakers. This side over here is, but in the event that I have a Discord or something like that where I have a Skype chat running, it would run through this guy and also get picked up in OBS in a way that can control the latency. So while I have not yet tested it myself, therefore it's not set up, I understand the principles. So this is basically controlling stuff that your speakers would hear. On the left, your computer speakers. On the right, what would be coming through your speakers from a particular chat channel. That just gives you more control. So that way you can have your chat be kind of high and maybe your background media be kind of low and all sorts of stuff like that. That's kind of the point of what this whole thing is. On this side, you basically have your hardware and virtual listening ports. So A1, 2, 3, these are your physical devices in your room. So I have two ways of consuming sound in my room. I have these headphones, which happen to run through my sound card. So in that case, I click on A1, and this I decided because I saw this ASIO thing, and the internet said ASIO is best. If you see it, take it. I plugged ASIO, Focusrite, USB. This happens to be where my speakers are plugged in. And A1 reflects the sound channel, all sound that goes to my headphones. A2 over here is where all sound goes to, I chose, my speakers. So basically what that means now is we have all these sources of in and outs coming through. So now we're going to get to a tricky part. All right, we've talked a bit about the A's, and the A's represent the physical hardware in your room. The B's is the virtual side of things. Effectively, what it means is you have two channels here that are virtual outs. These are things you can send to other programs. Like I could have this Voicemeeter connect to a Discord. I could have it connect to OBS, to Skype, to everything. And what's happening is when you connect a program, it is going to that B channel. So B is what is virtually sent out across the computer space. A is what you physically hear and consume in your room. So if I were to click on this A button, it would tell Voicemeeter that I want to hear the microphones in my headphones, which I don't really want to do because nobody wants to, but it would turn it on and it would distribute that sound there. What I really want to be happening with my microphone is that the sound is captured and not sent out in my room, so I have to listen to myself. I want you to hear it, so I send it through the virtual ports, the Bs, and that sends it to the program I want to have it heard in. That's for this microphone. When it comes to this, it's a little bit different because of the backend configuration, but don't worry about it. You don't even need to plug this on. It's all right. Keep this section off. Set this guy to B2 and click on mono. I don't know why yet, but mono is always good in this stuff. So throw on that mono so you don't have to deal with some crazy stuff. It'll come through sounding proper. That's what you need. If you're feeling fancy, wiggle stuff around here and play with your sound. You have full control. Anyway, let's talk a bit about how the speaker side works. Because of how I have this set up, basically I'm using this to play beats and Witcher 3 when my girlfriend wants to watch TV. And I have that running through, let's say, my headphones. What I could also do is click on this A2 now. Technically speaking, what's going to happen is because I have A1 and A2 open, it's going to play the sound of my beats or whatever I have running through this channel through both my speaker and my headphones at the same time. If I click off this A1 option, now it's all just going to go through my speakers and none of it's going to go through the headphones. So that's kind of ports. If I had a third option, let's say, I don't know, a Bluetooth speaker, whatever the hell it was, I could put on A3. I have that option for a third thing. So this is kind of a cool little hack, right? So technically what I have happening now is this is the main speaker, right? This is like, you know, what plays through the speaker through, and I would put that on A2. And this would mean my girlfriend can now watch Netflix, blah, blah, blah. And simultaneously, I could throw some stuff on, like The Witcher 3, play some video games, click this A1, and the sound is now being distributed to my headphones here. And the sound over here is being distributed to the speakers, meaning we can kind of have different apps going in different ways. So you can see how this whole Voicemeeter gives you a modicum of control. Now, in order to make everything sync up properly with OBS, what's super freaking important, honestly, is that you set up this channel here to be where you want it to be. I have it running to my headphones so I can hear it. This is where my beat's going to play. And that we choose cable output, which is that thing that we downloaded. Then we have this set up to B2 so that it sends to the standard cable that comes with the Voicemeeter. All right. Now that we've established that it was a little clunky, quick little recap. Main microphone you plan on wrapping in. Throw on the virtual cable. We're going to route our beat through this. This is your basic speaker volume. A1 and A2 represent the different actual ways you listen to stuff. B1, B2 represents sending that sound out to other people. Of course, adjusting volume levels here, adjust the volumes for all the specific things. Feel free to test everything to make sure your volumes are good. All right, we have now established the basics of the Voicemeeter. Let's talk a little bit about, once you've set all this up, what you have to do to actually start to make it work. Head on over to your sounds. Your computer might bug out. It's all right. Make sure that when Voicemeeter is running, I would even turn it off for this part, like close Voicemeeter, go over here and set your playback device to Voicemeeter input. When you do that, it sends your basic computer audio. You set this to default, like, you know, when you go here, you can see set default. You set this guy. It should say VB-audio Voicemeeter VIO. You're looking for that one. Doesn't matter what it says on top. You're looking for this guy. This guy is going to slap into this channel, right? So that means anything that would have played through your speaker is now coming through here, and you control what device it plays out of by flicking the A1s and A2s. Mad simple. Volume up, down, boom. I do recommend setting your speaker volume to a decent amount before you like flick this, or else you're gonna have to flick it back in. It could cause some issues. Flicking these devices while Voicemeeter is open has actually fucked up my computer enough to have to restart. Same thing with recording devices. Choose aux output, choose this one. In theory, when you have B2 clicked here and you're talking, you'll see it wiggle. That's the one that you know is going to be the good one. So pick that, stick it there, make it your default device. This is important. Now that we've got Voicemeeter kind of banged out for the basics, let's jump on over to OBS. Sorry if this all looks a little bit like Inception here. I actually made a little blunder and I covered OBS with my camera, so I blocked out everything I was trying to show y'all. A good rule of thumb is the frame that you see OBS, your camera shouldn't block everything here in this Inception area, because basically that is the screen that is getting picked up that you're seeing repeated, and I don't have a better way to record this. So if you know how to capture OBS without actually giving this feel and blocking it off, I'd love to know your solutions in the bottom. But a quick OBS tutorial, this top part here is what is being captured in the video, and down here is a bunch of scenes. This is just configurations. If you want to know more about OBS, I can totally make a video with my setup and how I go with it. And then over here we have all of our different sources. So what you're going to ultimately do is head into the settings of OBS. I don't know if you can see that. I hope, yeah, we can see it. Head over to audio and disable everything. You're going to control all of the audio via Voicemeeter and the different ports available there, as we've covered. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that now. And what you're going to do is add some sources. If you click on this plus icon, you'll see how there's audio input capture. This represents all of your microphones. So what I added 2 microphone sources, which correspond with the 2 ports I have here. And then I also went over here and I took 2 output captures, which go ahead and represent the 2 different outputs that I have over here. So for my microphone, which we've established is going to be in hardware input 1, you want to make sure that you choose Voicemeeter aux output VB-audio Voicemeeter aux VIO. Look for this one, especially the brackets part. That's the more important, and you're going to see after it shows up that as you're talking into your microphone, you can name it what you want. I named it Mike, and you'll see how the volume is instantly being captured. Over here, I added a second one for my apps. This is where my beat is going to play through. This is where I would go ahead and play a video game through. And for that, we're choosing the cable output, the VB audio virtual cable, which corresponds to hardware input 2. That's the one that we chose over here. So now you can see how what we have going on is what's going through hardware input 1 shows up in the mics over here, and any instrumental or beat or anything you would play shows up in hardware input 2 and would flow, as we have in our mixer, into the app section, which means down here in OBS we can now control the volume of our final product just by sliding these sliders, as well as in Voicemeeter. In the same way that we added our microphone capture devices, we're going to add, like I said, some audio output capture. It's a little weird, but output captures for speakers and input captures for microphones. The icons will help you out. And for our main speakers, we're going to choose VB-audio Voicemeeter VIO, which corresponds right here with this one. And if we go back to our comms, this is what I'm just going to use as like a chat app, like a Skype or a Discord. You want to choose the one that says Voicemeeter aux VIO, and that will correspond to this channel. And this will now, at an OBS level, give you all control with regards to the latency at a channel by channel level for each source. So how you would go ahead and control this is, in general, right click on this gear icon and open Advanced Audio Properties. You're going to see how it all shows up here and how I've actually set a couple of millisecond delays in the sync offset. My microphone is being told as it hits OBS to add a delay of 128 milliseconds, which will make it line up perfectly with the visual side of my mouth moving. In addition to that, I added a 300 millisecond delay onto my beat, which after some trial and error turned out to be the magic number to give me the sweet spot of everything lined up. You may be wondering how I got to this number of 128 milliseconds in the first place. There's a little something called the clap test, which you can do easily to give you a ballpark figure so that you're not guessing blindly. So what you want to do is record a video of you going clap, clap, clap at the camera. The reason you're doing this is because it's pretty easy to pinpoint at a frame by frame level when your hands connect and when a sound happens. So if you look over here, maybe I can just boost this audio a bit. Boom. What you're trying to do is, you can see over here, there's a little bump. That's where the actual sound happens. And if I move my mouse over, you'll see as the actual sound is happening, my hands have not yet connected. I can go ahead and count, right? So we can say sound starts about here. So we go 1, 2, 3. So it's safely, there's a good 3-second delay. That's what we can safely assume. And this was just a quick test I did. I actually have different settings set up. But from that, you would just figure out an idea of how far of a delay it's going to be. So what we've actually learned here is that there's approximately a 3-frame delay between the sound of my hands clapping and the actual visual side of my hands coming together. And this is what we are correcting for when we talk about latency. So let's do a little bit of maths. You want to know how many milliseconds are going to take place inside of a frame, because what we calculated is the number of frames. And every time you record a video, there is something called a frame rate. That is the number of frames per second. My videos are shot at 30 frame rates per second. That gives us a rate that we can proceed to Google and find out milliseconds. So type in a sentence similar to mine. How many ms are in your frame rate? In my case, it was 30 FPS. And Google, in its wondrousness, tells us the answer real quick. So what that means is there are 33.3 milliseconds in every frame. Now we have a framework. We understand the ballpark figure of our delay. We take the number of frames, we counted that as 3, and we times it by 33.3, and it gives us the approximate value of a delay that we have to create in order to correct the audio to visual side of things. Now that we've covered how to work with the clap test to get a basic idea of setting your primary latency, I wanted to just take a quick second to explain how you can route specific apps into the cable output channel over here. What you're going to want to do is head into the Windows search and type in the word sounds until you can see the sound settings option. That's going to open up like this, where you're going to scroll down and choose the advanced sound options. Here, you're going to see each app that plays sound currently open appear in this list. So in my case, I'm playing my beats through Groove Music. If I go ahead and close Groove Music, it disappears from the list. The second you open it up and start playing a song again, you're going to see how it appears. So what I've done is I've taken any app that I want to route to that extra channel, and I've set it over here to speakers, VB-audio virtual cable. By choosing this one, especially in the brackets VB-audio virtual cable, it will come straight over to this one, which is the same thing, the VB-audio virtual cable. So what this means is anytime I proceed to play a track through Groove Music, instead of routing to the same basic speaker output over here, it goes into this particular channel, which, if we head back over to OBS, allows us to isolate the sound to these two particular channels. The main reason we want to do this is so that your beat is not running through the same channel as the rest of your computer audio. The last thing you need is a Facebook message or anything else popping up and interrupting your feed. By setting up your configuration like this, the beat plays through this unique channel, your microphone plays through this unique channel, and you can go ahead and turn your speakers all the way down so that you can still hear what's happening on your computer, but nobody in your feed can interact with the sounds you don't want. Once you have your beat set up, all you're going to have to do is run some tests until you can find the magic sweet spot of your delay. So you would just adjust this number. In my case, it turned out to be that kind of a gap to make everything sync up correctly. And effectively, you just keep adjusting this number so that when you rap on your beat, what you're hearing in your headphones actually matches what hits your sound. Well, I hope that was clear for y'all. I hope it was informative. This was my first tutorial video of this scope. It was a little challenging for me to make, so I hope it was clear. If it's not, we can redo it, and as time goes on, if you have any more specific questions, let me know. I want to go ahead and keep this series running, explore the different ways we as artists can leverage the free technology that is available in order to stream and perform our music live over the internet without having to worry about it sounding bad. So anyway, let me know what you thought of this video. Hit the subscribe button if you felt it and want to see more content. Hit that like button if you felt it. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any corrections. Let me know if you want to add to this. Like I said, this was the V1. It's only going to get better from here. So I totally appreciate you all taking the time to go through this with me, and I hope this video was helpful, and maybe, who knows, in the future we can set up a whole course surrounding how to optimize your sound across multiple videos and different purposes and goals. Following up this video, I would like to do another video that explores how to use the same tools to wrap into an application such as AltSpace VR rather than leveraging something like OBS to control your feed. So keep in touch. We're going to cover more topics. We're going to explore the advanced features inside of Voicemeeter, and we're even going to look into OBS and all the different plugins that are available to optimize our home studio DIY experience. So let me know again if you found this helpful. Appreciate y'all for watching. Special thanks to the patrons who support us. It's super wonderful. If you want to support this endeavor, you know what to do. Links in description. I make music myself, so again, links in description. Let me know what you think about all that, and live long and prosper, everyone.